We are creating the ultimate home YouTube studio, taking this regular echoey room and turning it into a place where we can shoot awesome videos, we can edit stuff and work during the week, and we can also put all of our stuff in the closet to keep it away from kids who are gonna destroy it. So this place, we wanna make just this creative hub where we can come and create things and not take forever to set up video stuff, which just takes forever.
Yeah, so if you're the kind of person that enjoys making videos, or maybe you're trying to grow your YouTube channel, or I don't know, maybe you just have a lot of money laying around and you like renovating random rooms in your house,
That'd be awesome.
This is the series for you.
Okay, so we're gonna turn this into this.
What are you doing?
Most of the YouTube videos I've watched, they just go into this and then it's done. And I'm just like...
Babe, I think those people have money to actually do the work within a week so they can do it all in one video. This is gonna be a series.
Okay.
Right, they probably also don't have kids in the way all the time.
Yeah, this definitely adds to the hardship of it a little bit. So, this series is gonna be awesome. Stick with us. Number 1 is our planning and paint, which is just where we prep everything and get it all ready.
Yeah, then number 2 is lighting and making it look good.
Number 3 is this wall behind me. We're gonna make kind of a cool central art piece for the middle of the frame.
The 4th video is gonna be audio and accents.
Number 5, we've got a desk set up over here with all the editing and just all the cool gadgets we like to play with.
And then number 6 is the gear closet, AKA our own little bat cave to keep all that stuff in.
All right, we got a lot of work to do. Let's do it. Okay, let's get to planning. So this is our 3D model right here of this room that I put together on a free app called Shaper. And the first thing I want to show you is on this wall right here, this main focal wall we're gonna make into kind of like a pegboard thing. Now I'm a big fan of moving things around all the time and not keeping things the exact same. I mean, we've owned this house for like 5 years and I think this is the 5th thing we've had in this room, but this is gonna stay for a while. So I want the things on this wall to be movable. Now these shelves are actually gonna have dowels inside of them so they can slide into the wall and we can pick them up and move them and put it anywhere on the wall we want. We're also gonna be putting lights behind this. It's kind of hard to see how this thing's gonna work, but we'll have a couple layers of this so that behind it we can have light where it just kind of like glows through the wall. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool thing. Over on this side, we've got the gear room, or as Autumn said, the bat cave. So this door right here behind me is super boring. It's a door. So we want to kind of spruce it up a little bit, make it a little bit cooler. So we're going to build a door from scratch that will go over that and slide out of the way on a slider. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and a whole bunch of storage there that I think is going to be pretty awesome. On this side, over here, we're gonna have a desk, and we want everything to move. So this is gonna be a standing desk with a massive TV on it, which is how I like to edit. And that's gonna be over here where it can also move to whatever corner of the room we want. It's also gonna have another desk right here, and that desk will move so we can, instead of having a folding table like this, can have a cool kind of like product review area where we can put it in front of the backdrop there. So regardless of what type of videos you make, or if you're just bored and watching this, there's something for you if you can think through how do I move stuff around and make all these different things. And that brings me to my next part, is camera angles. We want to be able to have a camera angle like this and a camera angle like this, obviously not from the ceiling, and a camera angle like this and one straight on, and we want it to look like a bunch of different rooms in one without a ton of work. And that's what we're getting into. So we have a ton of work to do. Let me go get Autumn, let's get started. Okay, so this is our blank canvas. You can see this is, she's really excited. This is just a completely blank room. We've got a lot of little like patching to do to get this stuff to look good. It's been a bunch of different things. So Autumn, how about you start with all the patching and all that? I'm gonna run to Lowe's and get some paint. Cool? Break. Okay, so we already have the black for the ceiling and we've got the light gray, but we need a dark gray charcoal and a white, so let's grab them.
Painting is almost always the most fun part of a project. But before you paint, you have to prep. And if you're anything like us and you've had lots of people living in a room, you might have a bunch of holes like this. First thing you want to do is you want to kind of core out your spot. So take your box knife, a sharp box knife, and cut it out so that you've got the edges smooth. Then all you gotta do, take a little bit of this spackle, stick it in the hole and let it dry. So stick it in, kind of smooth it off. This one's a bigger hole, so I'm probably gonna end up having to do this twice, but I'll do it once like this, and then we'll kind of let it dry.
Tampered gray, or the hailstorm gray, or there's like 85,000 whites. Okay, so I think I know what we need. We've got our city storm already, and then we've got the carbonized gray that'll go on the background, that dark one, and then there's a bunch of really good whitish grays that I like, but this one's called gray-ish, and I really just want to be able to tell people my walls are gray-ish.
Do we need this paint?
The showcase. All right, almost there.
Once you have putty in all your holes, you just gotta wait for the pink to turn white, then you quick sand and you'll be done. Probably shouldn't be doing this on a broken foot though. Shh, don't tell you.
Thank you so much. I'm good.
Can I get a sucker then?
No, you can't get a sucker. If I got you a sucker, I'd be a sucker.
No.
Don't be a sucker.
I want to.
Hey, he's back!
Got it.
With a couple of gallons of paint.
Ow. One more.
Great job.
Thanks, Kiwi Cake. High five. Boom. All right, get out. Okay, so we've got our paint, we've got everything all patched up and ready for paint, but I've got to get rid of this door frame because we're gonna put a cool kind of barn door thing here that looks really nice, and this frame will look really ugly under it. So we're gonna pull this off so we can paint all the way up, and then I'll put a new edge on it later. The downside is somebody took my tools. That's kind of what happens when you have tools, is people borrow them. So I don't have a crowbar, but what I do have is just a heavy duty scraper, and really I just have to get behind this and pry it up. So let's do it. So one thing I should have mentioned or should have remembered to do myself is to use a box cutter and just cut through the existing paint there, because otherwise you rip off a whole bunch of paint like that, and then your wife gets mad at you because she has to fix it. So, yeah. Now it comes off way better. Oh, still hitting stuff. One piece! Woo! Yay me. You want to make sure that this is all smooth here. Realistically, you can do this whole thing with a box cutter. You don't need anything else, but I'm going to use a power tool. To get it like cleaned up and ready for paint, you actually have to do a little bit more than just paint over all the junk. So I'm just going to run a chisel up here, take off the extra paint so it smooths it. Areas like this, you just take a little bit of putty, and we're just going to kind of smooth it along here, and then get it more or less flat, and then we'll sand it out, and then just make sure to paint it really heavy with the roller to get some good texture on here to match the rest of the wall. That's pretty much it.
Now it's time to paint.
Yeah, painting. So, a couple of things you need to know. For those of you who are maybe a little more on the techie side and not so much on the DIY side of things, you need to have good preparation for your painting, and you need to have good technique for your painting. So we're gonna start off by taping. You wanna do long pieces of tape, not little short ones, so that you get a nice clean line. And we're gonna tape off our baseboards, and we're gonna tape off this corner so we can have good edges. Ellie, you wanna wipe down the baseboards and I'll tape? All right, the next step is we want to paint this corner. So you want to paint your corner over your tape, just barely over the tape, really lightly, the same color that you have the first wall. That way later on, when we paint and we take off this tape, we'll have a nice clean line. All right, we got that painted. So as that dries, it won't take very long. We're gonna cut in on all the edges. So, you ready? That's your job. Here we go. So as you can see, you don't need to paint a whole lot. You're just getting it enough so that the roller can come up close to it and you're not hitting the edges of the thing with the roller. All right, now the fun part where we get to roll. The nice thing about edging well is when you tape really good and you get it nice and tight, even a 6-year-old can tape and have perfect edges. So that's a lot of fun. The next thing with rolling is making sure you use the right technique, right? So I've already got my paint poured here, as long as I don't spill on the floor. And what you want to do with the rolling is make sure that you're not going little pieces, but you're going in long strips. So having a nice fold will help. Get your paint on your brush and do your long strips all the way up and down the wall, overlapping every time just by a little bit so that you have a nice smooth line. So nice long strips. Okay, so once you get your nice long strip, your next line you're going to go in kind of a V pattern and overlap just enough to make it look nice. The other tip is make sure that you're leading with the edge of the metal is coming out of. That'll make the paint go on a lot smoother as well. All right, so the first coat is done. Make sure as you finish your first coat, don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. You're gonna come back with your second coat and make it look perfect. But the only thing you do wanna make sure is that you don't have any big drips. If there's large drips, smooth those out so it's even all the way across. There is your DIY painting tutorial for tech people.
Okay, so now that the paint is mostly done, my wife did an incredible job. We need to pay attention to this because I don't want to have to deal with this later when we put a door on it. I'd rather frame this out and get it done now. So we're basically just going to cut plywood right here, and I just have some 1/2 inch lying around, so we're just going to do that. MDF would work great, but we already have plywood. And then I'm going to put some molding on here that's a really flat, kind of low profile stuff. So let's do that really quick.
Stop. That music's not cool enough, dude. Try again.
All right, let's try again.
Way better.
Okay, I'm cutting it down to 4.5 inches, which is the width we need. You can definitely do this with a circular saw, but it is 1,000 times easier if you have a table saw, so I'm lazy. I have got to get a smaller air compressor. Oh. Well, how long ago did I run out of brad nails? Who knows? That's the thing about DIY. You're good enough to not hire somebody, but you're not good. I'm gonna go get more brad nails. Okay, got it all caulked. That is ready to go. It is far from perfect, but all the gaps are pretty well full, so by the time that we get paint on it, it's gonna look all right. So next, Autumn's gonna come and paint that, and we are almost done with this. We gotta take the fan down, do some stuff with the ceiling, but we are close to done with number 1. I cannot wait to get to number 2. That was not a bathroom joke. It should have been, like seriously missed. Okay, so in just a few days, we've taken these old, very used walls and we've turned them into a clean base for what's to come. Hopefully you've enjoyed following in this so far, and if you have, smash the like button below, but you ain't seen nothing yet, okay? Check out the next video in this series where we set up epic lighting all over the ceiling. We control the lighting outside and we even make it completely automated. So setup in this room is as simple as saying, Siri, do my bidding. Or something a lot nicer so that when robots take over the world, you don't die. You get it. Don't wait, click the video now and keep going with us on this crazy adventure.